Hey, what's up, Zoners? Today, we're going to be going over all of the best and the worst values for fantasy wide receivers next season. That means I got the list, man, of the top 36 wide receivers in order of how they're going, all right? And we're going to be comparing that to how they finished last season and see where the values are, man. See where people are overpaying right now and avoid all that shit. That's not how you win in fantasy football. It's all about finding values. Last season, man, this got us Courtland Sutton. The year before that, it was Keenan Allen, man. I drafted both those guys, and I reaped the benefits. So stick around for this. I got an Excel file. I got real notes. You got to hold on for 7 seconds. You can do it! All right, you're looking at an Excel file that I threw together for this show. All right, first column, wide receivers. In order, man, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, so on and so on. The second column, man, their ADP this season. So where they're going right now in mock drafts. ESPN.com, live ADPs, updates like once a week and shows you where these people are going so you can assess value to these players, all right? That third column was their finish in 2024. So, hey, dude, Jamar Chase is going as a wide receiver number 1 right now, and he finished as the number 1 wide receiver last season. So that's all good, dude. A value score of 0, but we're looking for the highs and the lows here. We will be going over each of these players that are highlighted. So first up, let's go over the table. So greens are targets, usually 5 or over. If I like it, I will put as a target. Avoids, man, are in the negatives. So pretty intuitive here, all right? And then if a player changed teams like Devontae Adams over here, all right? Big change for him. Going over there across from Puka Nacua, they will be highlighted in like a purple-ish. And then, hey, man, some of these players did not play the whole season just like Puka Nacua. And how are we going to assess that value accordingly? We have to go by their average points per game. So Puka Nacua had the 3rd highest average points per game. And you're looking, Amon-Ra St. Brown finished as the 3rd overall wide receiver, not points per game. So that is the difference there. And fourth column is the value scores. So column B minus column C. All right. So you're just comparing to where you can find value on the productivity or where you're overpaying, dude, because that's not how you win. Again, the first target. Okay. BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr. Only a small value score here of 5. But when you're messing around the top 10, that is actually a pretty big deal. So right now, going as wide receiver 9, finished as wide receiver 4 last season. He was wide receiver 2, averaging 22.9 fantasy points per game from week 13 on after his bye. So after a bye is when you expect rookies to really take off. Well, shit, dude, that happened. And he was a wide receiver 2 in fantasy football, just behind Jamar Chase, man. That was it. So the value you're getting, the upside at wide receiver 9 is insane. 4th in yards after contact last season at 562 yards. I don't see that going away because he is young. And hey, man, why is he being undervalued? Well, guess what, dude? They drafted the top wide receiver in this draft, all right? Number 2 overall. Also the top quarterback. Apparently going to be playing him in offense, but I'll believe it when I see it, dude. Brian Thomas Jr. is the number 1 wide receiver there for me. I don't give a fuck if Travis Hunter there or not. So that's why you're getting a value there, BTJ. Next up, dude, going to Terry McClaurin, all right? So all this guy does is catch touchdowns from an ascending young quarterback. It looks like he's going to keep on getting better. So CJ Stroud took a big step back. But he does not have Kingsbury for an offensive coordinator. So, yeah, dude, I believe in the chances of Jaden Daniels continuing to succeed better than CJ Stroud last year. So, all right, man. So traded for Debo. This is why you're getting a value for him. Because he finished the season as wide receiver number 7, and now he's going outside. He's not even considered a wide receiver 1 for your team. He's outside the top 12. So fuck that. Then drafted Jalen Lane in round 4. Dude, he went over this. Very rarely do wide receivers make an impact that are not drafted in the first round in their rookie year. So like literally if you're in the first round, it's like 50% plus, and it goes down like 25%, like 13% round 3. 4th round, you're barely making it, dude. So the odds are Terry McLaurin is going to be the number 1 wide receiver there. Who else is there, dude? Fucking Debo? I don't care. So I'm taking Terry McLaurin. He is a huge target for me next season. All right, next up, man. One of my biggest targets heading into next season, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, going into what? Year number 3. Was on the same team as Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and they kept on talking about this fool. So one of the best wide receivers to come out of college in a long time. Going as wide receiver 18 right now. So, I don't know, a middle wide receiver 2 right now. He finished as a wide receiver 1 last year, wide receiver 9, dude, with DK Metcalf, with Tyler Lockett, with a different offensive coordinator that's probably, now that they changed, they probably will run the ball a little bit more. So a little bit of opportunity lost because of the scheme. But, dude, all those targets from DK gone, he will gain. So net 0 here, dude. I mean, his ceiling right now is top 5 wide receiver for me, and you're getting him as a wide receiver 18. Holy shit. Now, they did bring over Cooper Kupp. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is just a better Cooper Kupp at this point in his career. I mean, you see Puka Nacua was wide receiver 3 with fucking Cooper Kupp starting next to him. So I don't really take too much to that. And then what else, dude? They drafted Torrey Horton, wide receiver in the 4th round. And yeah, dude, wide receivers do not hit that often in the 4th round, especially their rookie season. So Jason, man, 7th in yards after contact at 477. You think about him just being a slot wide receiver. He gets a ton of yards after the catch, and he's still young. That's amazing. So yeah, dude, right now, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, as it stands, I'm sure he will shoot up the closer we get to the draft because people are going to realize this ranking is insane. But right now, huge target for me. Next up, Jason was asking me if I was going to do this guy. Yeah, I'm not going to do him, but I'm going to talk about him. How about that? Dude, Garrett Wilson's going as wide receiver number 20 right now, all right? Garrett Wilson finishes wide receiver number 10, only getting targeted for half the season, dude. In the second half of the season, it was all Davante Adams. Now, given that was a much better quarterback, say what you want to say about Aaron Rodgers, but he's a much better quarterback for fantasy wide receivers than Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields just carried DJ Moore to like a top 10 wide receiver 2 years ago when he had a full-time starting job, and he went to college with Garrett Wilson. So Garrett Wilson will be hyper-targeted again. He was tied with Justin Jefferson fourth highest in the most targets last year with 154. So he was literally targeted as much as Justin Jefferson, the number 2 overall wide receiver in a fantasy football draft. So the opportunity should be there. That was even with Davante Adams, dude. Without Davante Adams, man, he would have broke some kind of target record. And then let's see. Wide receiver 26 in 2023 with terrible quarterback play. I mean, that was the worst. That was Zach Wilson, that was just the worst quarterback play possible. And he was wide receiver 26. So you're almost drafting him at his floor right now. We want this guy. I mean, his ceiling is literally top 10. He did it last year with Davante Adams. So, dude, Garrett Wilson right now, if you're looking for people late, Jaxon Smith-Njigba and Garrett Wilson can both break into that top 10, and you're getting him super late outside that top 18. That's crazy. All right, man, next up. I think it is, who is this person? Is it Rashee Rice? Hey, man, I told you to draft Rashee Rice before the draft last year. I did. I thought I was the smartest man in the world. And then fucking Patrick Mahomes had to go assassinate some knees. That was one of the worst days of my life, man. I thought I was walking on sunshine. He had 0 points that day, too. Not even a point, okay? And if you take away that 0-point game where Patrick Mahomes fucked him, he was wide receiver 2, dude, averaging 21.6 fantasy points per game over the first 3 games. And he is the Travis Kelce replacement, man. Travis Kelce doesn't want to be catching all the balls, all right? Xavier Worthy's running deep routes and shit. This is the Travis Kelce replacement, man, and he's going as wide receiver 31 right now. Wide receiver 4 over the last 6 games of 2023, 18.5 fantasy points per game on his rookie season. So his rookie season literally carried over to the next season, and then he got injured and all those legal issues. So this is why he is going down, man. People close to this case are saying it might be 2026 before anything even fucking happens. So right now in best ball and shit, he is so worth it, dude. So just pick up Rashee Rice in best ball, and then, man, if his ADP stays here, he's gonna be a league winner this season. Probably garbage. He's a piece of shit human being. I know that, but hey, man, it's fantasy football, so I'll eat pieces of shit for breakfast. All right, next up, Calvin Ridley. Speaking of pieces of shit. Anyways, dude, he's going as wide receiver 33 right now. He finishes wide receiver 28, only a value score of 5. That's not that big of a deal. But that was with Will Levis, dude. That's a fucking huge deal, all right? Cam Ward, my brother from another mother. Go check his tape out. He's actually really good. He's like a Bo Nix type of prospect. So with the right coaching, this offensive line will take a big jump. That's the strength of this coaching here. So yeah, Calvin Ridley, man, you're drafting him at his floor, and you still get 5 value spots. I like that. 120 targets last year. He had the lowest catchable pass percentage of all wide receivers from fucking Levis. So, hey, man, and he still broke over 1,000 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns, only 4 touchdowns. So look at touchdown progression. Look at the yardage and the targets. Dude, Calvin Ridley, I don't like to do it, but I will gladly pick him up as my flex to start in PPR leagues. And there we go, dude. We got one more? We got one more. Jordan Addison, my man, all right? But top like 23 his first year. He's been like a top wide receiver 2 years into his 2-year career, all right? Wide receiver, he's going as wide receiver 35. Bottom end of flex, dude. Like he's almost not being drafted to start on your fantasy football team. And he was a wide receiver 2 last year and a wide receiver 2 the year fucking before that. So huge value here. Dude, wide receiver 5, weeks 9 through 17. All right. So The second half of the season, he was wide receiver 5. Justin Jefferson was wide receiver 4. So Justin Jefferson's going second in this draft. Jordan Addison's going 36. So when Sam Darnold was actually, had the rapport and everything at the last half of the year, with just because he was just hyper targeting Justin Jefferson in the beginning, started spreading the ball around the more he played. By the end of the season, dude, Jordan Addison was getting just as many points as fucking Justin Jefferson. That is insane. And then, dude, he was wide receiver 23 with Jaron Hall. Christian Kirk played 8 games, I think. Jaron Hall, Nick Mullins, all that motley crew came in, and he still did well. So, hey, man, this is a coaching deal. Kevin O'Connell's the man. And, yeah, dude, Jordan Addison, huge value as far as a flex option, PPR leagues. Holy shit, man. Now, let's go over the avoids. My first avoid, A.J. Brown, all right? And this is nothing against A.J. Brown, dude. It finished in 2024 tied with 10th in receiving yards after contact. So we know that he can break a lot of yards after the catch. Whatever. Top 10 in catches for 10-plus yards, 20-plus yards, and 40-plus yards. He was also 5th in yards after catch above expected and 6th in yards per target. That's great, dude. The problem is he was tied for 37th with 67 receptions and 21st with 7 reception touchdowns. So when they get in close, they run the fucking ball, and they don't throw the ball in general. 25th at 7.5 targets per game. So he's like he's a flex option as far as targets goes, dude. 7 targets a game, pretty much. That is not what you're looking for. Only 11 targets in the red zone, 1 fewer. Devonta Smith had 1 more target in the red zone than he did. So he is not the red zone target in this offense. They've got 3 other dudes they're going to throw it to, even the fucking tight end over there. So Philadelphia led the league in run rate at 56% after acquiring Saquon Barkley. They've been in the top 5 as far as the highest run rate goes. They don't like to throw the ball, dude, for a long time. 13 or fewer fantasy points in 6 of his 13 games played last year. That just sucks, dude, if you're drafting a guy top 7. So A.J. Brown, nothing against him, dude, but the opportunity's not there. I will avoid until I can't any longer. And then Xavier Worthy, dude. You heard my argument for Rashee Rice. So he's literally being drafted. Xavier Worthy's being drafted at his ceiling right now. You want to pick out the players that are being drafted at their ceiling and their floor. Target the ones that are being drafted at their floor. Avoid the ones at the ceiling. This one right here, dude, is at his ceiling. So Xavier Worthy, 31 targets and 2 touchdowns over the last 3 regular season games. You're like, holy shit, that's amazing. This was surprising. The 10th most red zone targets at 18. This little speedster was getting all those red zone targets. Holy shit. But the Rashee Rice situation, dude, and then more opportunities with everything. And then all I hear about is, God, dude, I forget who they just drafted, undrafted free agency. He's actually making all the news in camp right now. So, yeah, I'm just saying, dude, more realistically, he's going to be a top 24 wide receiver. I just do not want to draft Xavier Worthy at his ceiling. All right, one more avoid, people, and then we're done with this show. George Pickens. I should just close my laptop right now and end it. But I won't. Wide receiver 14, weeks 7 through 11. He had that one stretch a month, dude, where he was actually doing well with Russell Wilson. It all went back to shit. 8 points or fewer in 3 of his last 4 games played, dude. So it ended terribly. And then what they do in the offseason, they went and got DK Metcalf. They signed Robert Woods, who I probably like more than him. And hey, man, he's being drafted right now as if fucking Aaron Rodgers is a for sure thing. So, yeah, George Pickens I'm avoiding altogether because he is a roller coaster ride. You don't know when to play him. You don't know when not to play him. And that's not the player that I like to have on my fantasy team. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I earned a thumbs up. Hopefully I earned a subscription, man. We're trying to get to 2,000 for God's sakes. Please, man. Steal your mom's account. Steal your dad's account. Steal somebody's account. And please subscribe to us. For God's sakes, we need it. Anyways, hey, man. Please remember to vomit in the comments if you have anybody that you are targeting or avoiding as far as wide receivers goes. Please do that. Remember, the running back episode came out last week. Check that shit out if you like that. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward. This is the Fantasy Red Zone. We got our drinking shows on Friday where we're cussing, drinking, talking football. Hey, this is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.